Let's move on to our first company. Coca-Cola is what we're talking about. Now, they're in the beverage, non-alcoholic, not much short here, 0.8%. Institutional ownership is 66%. They have a PE ratio of 22.8, which is below the industry at 26.3. Price of sales are expensive, 6.2 versus 3. Price to book value, 9.5, also expensive compared to the industry at 5.8. Again, valuation ratios, you want them lower than the industry average. While price to cash flow is very expensive, 39.2 versus 21.2, and the PEG ratio does look good, though. That's your price earnings growth, what you're paying for the future growth going forward, 2.7 versus 17.4, so Coke did win there. Now, last year, Coke has done really well. This surprised me. Their earnings are up 25.3%. The industry was down 14.4. Could have been a low earnings last year. They're building on a lower number, but you got to check that to see what's going on there. Sales are up only 2.8%. Industry was down 8.7. 5-year earnings per share growth rate for the analysts on Coke is 8.9 versus 7.3. Now, they do pay a decent dividend, 3%. Only use 66% earnings to pay that out. That's a big positive there. Looking at the balance sheet, current ratio 1.2 versus 1.3. Debt to equity is kind of high for Coke at 1.5 versus 0.8. I think that's always been the case because it is the big Coke company, I guess I'll say. But 1.5 debt to equity, that's too much for us. We don't like it that high. Intangible assets, this is another bad part, 30.3%. That's pretty high. Almost a third of their assets are intangible, which means they are not real. You can't touch them. Net profit margin, very good, 27.3 versus 11.2. Return on equity, extremely good, 41.7. Free cash flow for Coke is $5.5 billion. That is above the industry of $4 billion. And you like that cash flow, that's how they can pay those nice dividends with Coke. And Coke has just been like a steady grower over time. But is it time to buy it based on what we got going forward here, Chase?
Yeah, well, current price here for the Coca-Cola company, again, ticker symbol KO, it's $68.90. 52-week range, the low here is $60.62, and the high $74.38. Over the last year, it's up about 4.5-ish%. Year-to-date, up close to 10. 5-year return, not super exciting, but okay, up 40%. And 10 years of about 64%. I am curious, though. I know yours includes dividend. What's the 10-year return of dividends?
Oh, yeah, you said 64% for the 10-year, including dividends, 120.6%. So that makes it. That's why we like dividends. They can make a big difference on your returns.
Yeah, and I kind of have a thought on that, but I'm going to give this target sell price here first. Sure. If you look at December 2026, estimated earnings per share here, $3.22, gives us a target sell price of $53.45. So unfortunately below the current price, but I'm going to say fundamentally, Coca-Cola is a type of business that we like to buy. I mean, earnings are growing around that mid to high single-digit range. So maybe you're growing at, let's say, 5 to 7%, but you're getting that 3% dividend that has also increased. Mm-hmm. That is how you can make good money without, I'm going to say, taking on too much risk. You grow earnings at, I'm going to make it easy on me, 7% a year, and you get a 3% dividend. Well, shoot, if you maintain that same multiple, you're making 10%. That's a good return. The problem with Coca-Cola, though, is that valuation is a little bit too high for us to have any interest in it.
Yeah, and it's something that you probably want to look at. There could be pullbacks because of news that doesn't really affect them, drops 10, maybe 15%. That could be a buying opportunity because the earnings, again, 23 analysts. I've never seen earnings so tight. The low is 315, the high is 329. That's a difference of less than 15 cents. And the earnings have pretty much stayed the same over the last 90 days. I mean, it was 321 90 days ago. Today, 322. Coke has just been a steady goer for year after year after year. The time to buy Coke is when something happens to the overall market and they're dragged down with the market. That's when you want to buy it.
I mean, hey, Warren Buffett, one of his largest holdings, I know he's loved not just the stock, but also the product for a long time.
He loves his Coke.